Okay, let's do an exercise and try consolidating whatever we have learned so far. Uh, Assume that there is a 24-month long project and there is a budget of $170,000. And we have the figure for the first 3 months. We have planned value, we have actual cost, and we have the earned value. With 3 months data, we decide to take the overall inventory and see where do we stand. What we do, we calculate cost variance, cost performance index, schedule variance, and schedule performance index. We see that the cost variance is minus 4,000, which is calculated by subtracting actual cost, which is 24,000, from earned value of 20. Since 4,000 is coming in negative, that means the project is over budget. Concerning cost performance index, which is calculated by dividing earned value figure $23,000 by actual cost $27,000, and what we get is 0.85. This value is less than 1. That means we are not getting the optimal cost efficiency. So in this case, efficiency of 85%, which is indicative of improper utilization of budget. Talking about schedule variance, which is calculated by subtracting planned value from earned value, here we get minus 9,000. Again, the result is negative, meaning the project is lagging behind. Schedule performance index, which is calculated by dividing earned value by planned value. Here we get 0.71. That means project is only progressing at 71% of the rate planned. Now, it doesn't take any action despite the fact that we have the deviations. We want to observe it for 1 more month, and now we are into 4 months. 1 month has already passed. With the figures available for the 4 month, now we decide to calculate estimated completion or the new budget, and just trying to figure out if the new budget, if it is different from the original budget, which is $170,000. So for calculating estimate at completion, we need budget at completion, and cost performance index that we already discussed in the previous sections. We have the value of BAC, but we need to calculate CPI. So what we do, we divide 34,000 by 40,000, and we get 0.85. And again, it is less than 1. That means we are getting only 85% of the cost efficiency. And one more thing I would like to mention here, that we already calculated cost performance index just a couple of minutes back, but that was at the end of 3rd month. Now this time we have calculated CPI, which is at the end of 4th month. Now, in order to calculate EAC, as I said, we need to divide BAC by CPI. The value of BAC is 1,70,000, and the value of CPI is 0.85, and the resultant figure is $2 lakh, and it is more than the original budget, which is $1,70,000. That means in order to complete the project, we need more money. Now, here we can calculate estimate to complete also. This data element we already discussed in the last section, and here for we subtract actual cost from EAC, which we have just calculated, and what we get is 1,59,764. This is the amount of money which is needed 5th month onwards. Now, just for a moment, we assume that 85% of the cost efficiency, it won't continue starting fifth month. Why I'm saying that? Probably the raw material was purchased at a higher rate in the first 4 months, but now the local supplier, he has adequate amount of stock with him, and he will supply us at a much lower rate because we've been dealing with him for the last many years. Now that means the variance is one time, and it is a typical variance. And here EAC is calculated by subtracting earned value from BAC, and we add it to the actual cost, and finally we get $176,000. So in our scenario where this is one time, we have a new budget of $176,000, and you can clearly see that in the earlier example where we got 2 lakh dollar, wherein we said that 85% of the cost efficiency will continue till the last, and here we said that 85% cost efficiency, it won't impact the project starting fifth month. So we are getting a smaller amount of money. Uh, in both the scenarios, you need to keep one very important thing in your mind. That moment EAC, it differs from BAC. The BAC is no longer valid for all the subsequent calculations. So when we have a new budget going forward, that budget is taken as a baseline, and all the comparisons are made against this figure only. So this is how we calculate the new budget. This is how we figure out that how new budget, the EAC value changes when the variation is one time, and when the variation is repeated, when it will keep impacting the project till we see that in both the scenarios the value of EAC, it is actually, it differs. That brings to the end of this section. Thank you.